Welcome to Prague. It's our jumping off point of this, the magnificent Czech Tour. A country in the centre of Europe, which very much feels like this is a drawing point, not only for sport, but historically for art and just about everything else as well. It's a fabulous roster of riders that are going to take it on. A race that, quite frankly, uses the very best of its rolling terrain. So we'll start off with a Sprinters' Day, followed by, indeed, a run to the mountains. Party atmosphere, as you can see, right from the very off, and something for absolutely everybody as far as this is concerned. Same could be said for the peloton itself. Fast men have come, GC riders as well. 14 teams from all over the world, including 2 World Tour teams. They make up the pack in this year's Czech Tour. Very solid peloton indeed, with some big names and young up-and-coming riders as well. It's a great blend of talent and experience right here. Red Bull Bora Hansgrohe, they come here with a rookie team, but with Davide Donati for the sprints, Hayek, Janssen, Palsa as well for the overall. That is strength in depth. Pseudo Quickstep, led by the mighty Joe Cherney. They're looking to loop Lamperti, of course, in the sprints. Junior Lecerf overall, backed up by James Knox. That's going to be interesting. Visma Lease Bike, well, they come with the out-and-out favourite. Uijtdebroeks is here. Will Smith, Timon Hrat and Thomas Globe backing them up. Keppens may make a use of himself for the Quickstep as well. Another strong team. And this is what we are dealing with. Karlovy Vary is our destination, a spectacular fin de siècle spa town, and along the way we'll be playing with mountains. It's the most action-packed of all of our days. If you're looking for action points, 3 climbs and an intermediate sprint with 3, 2 and 1 bonus seconds on those intermediates, and of course a mountains jersey up for grabs for the brave, and that is usually a breakaway. I can tell you that we have one. But before we go to our live pictures, we're going to have a look-see as to how things settled down at the sign-on this morning. Here's Joe Cherney, familiar face, and of course almost a virtual ambassador for the race here. And this was us lining up just a little bit earlier on today. Beautiful weather conditions, I must say. The Alwyn flag just about to be waved by Leopold Koenig, our race director, just to get proceedings off and underway. It was a long, long rollout this morning, I must say. A few little nudges, as you can see, within the pack, because everyone was mobbing the team director's car, just hoping to get ourselves off and underway. Once Leo waved us underway, the pace, well, it was a reasonable one to say the least. Didn't take long for some of the ambitious to show their hand. Don't forget, on a day today, we have more climbing than indeed on any other day. 3 KOM points out there, which means a mountains jersey, and that's a coveted prize for some perhaps of the smaller teams. And as it was, they represented themselves extremely well, rocking and rolling to get into the break, and quite the roster we had, including an out-and-out youngster, Christian Vavro, just 18 years of age, from Pierre Baguette Cycling. I know who sponsors them. Benotti Berthold were there with Jano Krischi, Michael van Vleet from the Solowat outfit. Valniek as well was from Voster ATS. We had Geismeier from Vorarlberg, Shuran from United Shipping, and Nico Garibo from Team Ucchio. Our first KOM point played its way into our intermediate sprint as well. This was our latest climb, so 2 completed plus an intermediate sprint. We'll get to those with you in just a few moments' time. But it's been extremely busy. Nico Garibo it was that took it ahead of Schumann, Geismeier and Van Vliet.
We have got inside 60 kilometres to go, and already you can see that some of these riders in the breakaway don't want to hang around.
Here's my man. This is Valignac, the time trialist. He's not happy with the pace here, and he's basically saying, look, this is how fast I'm going to ride. If you want to ride with me, because I'm a bit of an engine, then you're welcome to come along for the ride. He doesn't want to be caught. He wants to stay out there as long as possible. And I can understand it, Brian, if his Palmares, which includes a lot of pretty feisty riding, I must say, he's out here for a reason. He wants to go all the way. Beautiful day and a fabulous day to go racing. The Czech Tour, destination Karlovy Vary. There's one more climb remaining. As you can see, it's lumpy terrain there, out of the saddle. Still got 6 riders up the road as part of our breakaway. And it's been an ebbing and flowing gap as the chase has been invoked and held steady, you might say, by the XDS Astana development team, hoping that Gleb Zaritza can come to the fore a little bit later on. Likewise, Sudal Quickstep with the day's favourite of Luc Lamperti on board. Visma Lease Bike don't want anything silly to happen as our breakaway just starts to struggle ever so slightly, as you can see, and it's Gesmeyer from the Vorarlberg development team, who's just starting to struggle ever so slightly, going the same way as Christian Varro, who went off earlier from the Pierre Baguette cycling team. Back to those out front, Visma Lease Bike, the race favourites with Uijtdebroeks on board and plenty of other talent likewise. But for today, Davide Donati from Red Bull Bora Hansgrohe, they've been helping out as well. So indeed, Astana, the aforementioned Sudal Quickstep. So it's a controlling moment at the moment with 40 kilometres to go. You're looking at the head of the race. The gap is 1 minute and we are expecting fireworks when we get to the magnificent and beautiful Karlovy Vary by the end of the day. This is a super hilltop castle built in the 14th century. It burnt down, unfortunately, in the 17th century, and they thought, you know what, should we repair it? No, let's just leave it. It's a beautiful ruin. The castle elevated position, of course, giving you phenomenal views. Look at that, perfect knoll to defend all the terrain around you. You've got an uninterrupted view of just about everything. So yeah, I'm glad they didn't renovate it to a certain degree, because the last thing you need is a roller disco on the top of it at moments like that.
Gary Bo for Ukio team in the Reds, he's the person who's been taking the 2 King of the Mountains, and leading out here is Shuran.
Yeah, Shuran wants a piece of it, but Gary Bo's coming around him. He's just his teammate Ishibashi has been on the deck, so he wants to bring some cheer to the team, and he's doing it. He's dominating this mountains competition.
Yeah, active in the breakaway now. I think this is for the most combative. You know, the gap's come right down, and I think the riders in the breakaway already know, with Sudal Quickstep really kind of pushing hard, and that information will be given to them that, you know, they've started to attack each other. They're thinking about that most combative, and the effort of Sudal Quickstep, especially James Knox, has done this to the peloton.
It's shattered. It's in 3 large-ish groups. 2 will reconfigure. They may all come back together, but it's a note of just how hard they want to make this day. Sudal Quickstep, Luc Lamperti must be feeling okay if he's said to his teammates, look, let's destroy the fast men's will by really going for it, because I'm coping with these climbs, right? In a sprint scenario with about 18 kilometres to go. I think I mentioned that to you. It is Van Vliet that wants to take the Competitivity Award. Who would vote against him? But right now, he's one man against the pack, that's hyper-motivated, and it's almost come true, Brian. All together with around about 18 to go, it will be. He's going to hang out there for as long as he possibly can, but there's a lot of teams here getting themselves in colour order, waiting for the big scenario. This man has just hit the barriers, I'm afraid, metaphorically, I should say. He's out of the saddle, and is it Kern Farmer that are on the stretch here, and this is a flyer. This is good work by Elozegi. Now, we've seen him go strong and long in the past. This is ambitious, Brian, but he knows what the geography is. He's done his homework. Big left-hand swooper. You almost double back on yourself, but to actually do the full 180 takes a long time. And suddenly you see the rather spectacular Karlovy Vary, where we are playing the game. It's an absolutely beautiful part of the world. Here's the 500 to go marker, and indeed they hit the front right now, and Astana may well be in a party spawning moment. Let's have a look. It's a good place to be, almost blocking the vision at the moment of Neumann, who just sits behind. Neumann's going freestyle. He wants to get onto the back wheels of Sudal Quickstep, who hugged the barriers, and he's gone wide. Oh, that's no good at all by the Astana man. Got it out of shape, hit him up, and indeed went for it, and now it is unleashed. And Luc Lamperti has decided that this is now to be taken all on my own. Who needs company when you can do this? Punches the air, says thank you very much. Donati for Red Bull Bora Hansgrohe, I believe it is, they're coming in just behind. We've got a crash just on the right-hand side of the road as well. Lamperti takes the day ahead of Donati, Zdritzer, Neumann and Stolic. Very good work as well by Veldov, Lecerf, Maslak, Konichev and Budzinski. And indeed, here is our day's winner.
Yeah, I think I can say now Czech Tour is one of my favorite races, but no, it's nice to get a win after all the work the team did today. And also for me, it's been a long season since the very start chasing a victory, so it's nice to have actually my first victory of the season here.
If you've got a plan and it comes to fruition, then all's good.
After the first stage of this year's Czech Tour, the yellow leader's jersey goes to the stage winner Luke Lamperti, as well as the green points jersey. The best climber in the polka dot jersey is Nicolo Garibo of the UQO team. The under-23 white jersey is Davide Donati from the Red Bull team. Best Czech rider in the red jersey is Dominic Newman. A very fast start to this year's Czech Tour. Let's see what the next 3 days of racing bring.
Welcome to the Czech Tour, the second stage, Pardubice to Dlouhé, 173 kilometres in total today. And beautiful sunshine with the temperature just coming down a little, 3 Celsius less, but still 31. The wind blowing up to just 5 kilometres per hour, coming in from the south. So not exactly a challenge wind-wise, but today is the big one. Huge finish at the end and starting off in the magnificent city of Pardubice. Ancient times, ancient place, but absolutely beautiful, a modern heart to it as well. A great jumping off point for today's race. So this is what stage 2 looks like, Pardubice. It is a destination ultimately, Dlouhé Stráně, a very high mountain lake or reservoir used for hydropower, and you're going to need plenty of power to get up the big kicker at the end of the day. As the altimetry unwinds there on the bottom of your screen, you'll see it's a bit like a hockey stick. Ice hockey, you understand. That's the game in these parts, and it really does kick up to the sky. Some ramps of 9% on that final climb, and you'd better be quick at the very end of it. Once you've done the climbing, it flattens out, and we may well have a mountain sprint. Lamperti unlikely to still be in the golden jersey at the end of today. He'll be thinking about the sprint and the points jersey proper on Saturday. So they rolled out, and indeed it was likely to have been a busy one at the top. Could a breakaway succeed? Well, it was surely going to be controlled by the likes of Soudal Quickstep, Visma Lease Bike, maybe XDS, but certainly Red Bull Bora Hansgrohe as well. So if you wanted some slip room, you needed to get off and up the road, and that's precisely what happened. And indeed, we join them now, 8 in fact. And there it is, Serenko was very much part of it. Sijato was there, Zakala. Vilignac as well, who was up in the break yesterday, the 23-year-old TT champion from indeed Poland, was up there. And when it came to the intermediate sprint, well, some quick men indeed were in there. Jan Kaspar it was that took it ahead of indeed the spirited time trialist Vilignac, who I was telling you about. We had a Glossner was also there in the frame to pick himself up 4 points, 3-2-1 bonus seconds as well at the intermediate sprint. And it wasn't long before, which came very quickly afterwards, our categorised climb of the day. Category 2 test this, and the wind upon the peaks just blowing up ever so slightly. Strongest rider from the breakaway, Serenko, the Ukrainian, on the nose at this point, but will he have the kick to actually make this one count? Van der Woude, the Dutchman from Maytech, Solowat, Mantel also here, but looked outclassed on the incline at this point. The man who started the move to break down the breakaway indeed decided to finish the job. That chalk line on the road was our KOM point, and indeed they reassembled as a trio up front. Maximum break on the day had been around about 5 minutes and 17, that kind of margin, but that Zahalka it was that took the 6 points ahead of Serenko and Van der Woude.
It was a good sizable breakaway that took off right from the start, and 8 riders is significant, but as the teams that were riding at front, Visma Lease Bike, but they rode at the front without actually going onto the front yesterday in the yellow jerseys. Soudal Quickstep again they've got the leader's jersey, but they also have a rider, Junior Lecerf, that can really fly up this final mountain here, Dlouhé Stráně.
Well, who'll be king of the castle today? I can tell you that the Litterad castle here, absolutely spectacular. It was first built in 1554. The more modern conflicts didn't exactly hamper too much the beautiful surroundings of the Czech Republic. Some spectacular citadels. You can see the more modern part as well, but it is very beautiful. It's a cultural centre, likewise, hosts concerts, workshops, that kind of thing, and community events. And of course, bike racing as well. 2.5 minutes with 38 Ks to go. The terrain does start to pick up from about now, really, until our delivery. So you don't want to make any errors with this breakaway.
Yeah, very difficult to see on the camera, but like Carlton says, and I mentioned it, it kind of drags up. Very, kind of 1-2%, but it does drag up all the way to the bottom of the climb.
Isn't it?
But yeah, it's under heat as well. It's 31 degrees. It's not going to be easy.
It's knocked back just a little bit, Brian. They've got the holding distance they want, 98 seconds only. So the chase has kind of done its job, and now they're in that holding pattern before it all hell breaks loose.
This rider here for Solution Tech, the Italian second division team, is the young 24-year-old Ukrainian, is the strongest rider there. At that moment there, he just flicked the elbow, and it was a case of no from both riders behind. So he's pretty much on his own. He's trying to get a little bit of help, and this often happens. You make the effort, you pay for it, and unfortunately, Tsarenko is in front himself. He will get a little bit of help from time to time, but when you are the strongest, you have to take the bull by the horns.
And look at it. This is what we are dealing with. This is the Chateau Walsh that I was telling you about. This is the one where they said, do you know what? I just don't like the look of it in 1608. And so they started a rebuild. And the Baroque style that you see here, they finished in the 17th century. They had a race with a very modest margin. Soon it's going to be trimmed under a minute. And you feel that, I'm afraid, the basking shark of the peloton is going to have this krill. This is Tsarenko. Zahala just behind him, and indeed our time trialist, Vilniak. They've worked very, very well. Double golden shoulders, though, of Tsarenko. And indeed, the man from Ukraine would probably garner a lot of sympathy, just riding that centre line here. And they're exchanging nicely. They've got a bit of a margin. The rest of the breakaway have already been absorbed by the peloton. Meanwhile, back downstairs, Joe Cherney, who's done a massive job on the front. Yeah, back to the car, and every right to be here. Has a brief chat. Yeah, how did things go? Oh, it was pretty tough. Why'd you leave me out there for so long? Because you're good at it, mate. You're good at it. You're just brilliant. Do it again tomorrow. Have a drink. And here he goes. Here's Tsarenko. Said he was the big danger within the breakaway, and right now he's decided the only thing to do is try and help himself, Brian.
Well, he was the strongest.
Yeah.
It was inevitable. This is what he was going to do. Unfortunately, at this stage, he'd be wishing he had about 3 minutes, but 11 seconds from the head of the peloton. And, there's still a lot of riding in us. This climb is, like I said earlier, not the same climb as last year. It was a little bit more steadier. This goes up in different increments, so you've got different pitches the whole time, and that upsets a lot of people. They want to get into a rhythm. You can't really get into a rhythm in this one. This is possibly about 3 to 4%.
This is indeed at the head of the race today. Quite remarkable. This is the Dlouhé Stráně reservoir that you're looking at right now. It's a hydroelectric plant. So the water is drawn off and indeed goes onto turbines with an altitude of 1,350 meters, making it the highest water surface in the Czech Republic. 10 kilometers to go. They're starting to worry about Tsarenko and what he can deliver today. And although the pace does not look at its highest from this kind of altitude, I can tell you it is. They are on full chat at the moment with only 10 kilometers to go. Kilometers are clicking down, and Tsarenko's good for this at the moment.
We have got a group of possibly about 50 riders now left at the front of the race.
So it is that Tsarenko is absorbed, and so are we. It has absolutely snapped, Brian. We've got 8 gone clear here, and they could possibly define the day. Is it 8 or 7? 7 as we look at it right now. They're powering away, and I don't think all this group are going to come home together either. This is remarkable. What a display of power by Visma Lecerf bike. They are on it.
No, this is full on. You know, there's no hanging around here, that's for sure. And, you know, this is set up. This is this corner here. So for the next 3 to 4 kilometres, this is the hardest part of the climb.
A very, very brave push. And looking behind, he's got a trio of riders, including the 2 favourites for the day, Lecerf and Uijtdebroeks. He had no choice, really, Brian, other than to dig in and go. Meanwhile, coming over is Nahon Dlouhé. And that, the way he came over that swiftly, Brian, shows he's got something in the legs here, and he's got a teammate with him here in the red trade kit. Here's national champion Dlouhé, of course. Let's see what the damage is today, shall we? Uijtdebroeks looking very, very handy. One of those at a very close margin as far as the overall is concerned. Just relaying back now. Teammate drops back. Venturo just has a look at his principal. Also off the back, saying you can slot in here. I'm going to stay with this. Umba racing cleverly. If Umba's got the kick that he had at the beginning that started to break down the front of the race, he might have an option here as well. This is no done deal, Brian. And here is that little kicker. Around they come. This is your last hairpin, and then look at the way it picks up, and Lecerf goes to the front and takes Franchella with him. Uijtdebroeks angered by this, but can't get back. He's done a lot of work as far as this climb is concerned. It may well indeed be a throw on the line. Let's have a look who gets there first. Lecerf takes it ahead of Franchella. Brilliant work by him. Uijtdebroeks was effectively mugged there, forced to do too much work to the benefit of others, and Lecerf royally took advantage. That was brilliant.
Oh, it feels amazing. I worked hard for this, and to be rewarded is perfect. Also the team, they did again a great job controlling also, so really thanks to them also.
Lecerf takes it ahead of Franchella. Uijtdebroeks, of course. Balabio it was that came through. Katrucci, we had Hrat, Hayek was up there, Araya, Janis Peter and Umba Lopez, who was very much part of the front drive today, finished in 20th place. Super win, clever win as well in very difficult circumstances, and richly deserving of the title of race leader here at the Czech Tour. Sprint classification. Junior Lecerf also leads the points here. Lamperti will be carrying the green jersey on behalf of his pseudo quick-step teammate. Franchella is still well placed in this competition as well. As far as the climbers are concerned, Garibo on the opening day amassed so many points. There was 3 Category 2 tests on that day, don't forget. Under 23 riders, John Uijtdebroeks has the white jersey today, leading Hayek in that competition. And we have, of course, Martin Barta, who is our best Czech rider by a margin of 23 seconds, leading Tomáš Prida. Welcome, another beautiful sunny day. Prostějov to Ostrava today. It's the shortest stage of this year's Czech Tour. Always a festival whenever the Czech Tour comes to town. It's been extraordinarily well supported. 31 Celsius, however, is not an inconsiderable temperature. And in fact, this race has been run in absolutely glorious conditions. Starting in Pustevny, heading off towards Ostrava, and indeed when you look at the terrain, it doesn't look overly challenging. However, a breakaway being begged by a first climb then starts to get just a little bit lumpy. Intermediate sprint has already been dealt with, and then sort of rolling terrain really that will bring us in. A couple of little peaklets to be dealt with. They can often be action points as well. And then it's downhill to our finish. A finish line that we are familiar with, having been to Ostrava last year. Technical towards the end, but an impressive place indeed to hold a bike race. They flagged them away this morning. Another absolutely impeccably beautiful day and stellar surroundings once again. The Chateau Blumhoff, indeed, there, originally a castle from the turn of the 13th century. So there's been the great, the good and the powerful have lived here for many a season. Not exactly the most violent start, but certainly a pace about it. And if we were on the slowest pace on the opening day, this has a different complexion about it entirely. We are racing. We're rolling. We will pick the gap up for you in a short while, but it's been a reasonably handsome one, I can tell you today. These guys have been given a bit more leash than perhaps we'd have thought. Garibo, after mountains points, and indeed Julie, secured some today, and it looks like now that he's on 24 points that jersey might just belong to him. Well, Garibo dropped back, and when we came to the sprint, he was no longer part of proceedings. Constantia, Bettendorf and Robber were indeed those that came to the line for the sprint. 3 and 2-1 bonus seconds of no consequence to them at all. Robber, the best placed of those who were up the road at 4 minutes and 24. We have this quartet that is still going. We've also got some stunning sights along the way. Junior Lecerf, Uijtdebroeks a little bit sore yesterday about the way that Lecerf took it. Didn't do any work on the climb, but to my mind played it clever, and everyone has to be fair and square in those kind of moments, appreciating what your rivals are going to do, and for very good reason. And they lined up today, and Uijtdebroeks looked actually reasonably at peace with what had gone on. He leads the young riders classification. He's actually installed not that too far away from indeed Lecerf on the yellow jersey. It seems like they buried the hatchet overnight, not in each other, you understand, but yes, just called it a day, and they're still friends by the looks of the way they lined up today. 32 kilometres to go. Dappled sunshine. Take the sustenance wherever you can get it. And indeed, Van der Waal says thank you very much. I'll take one of those bottles. It's either for him or for Reinderink, who's trying to get up and over the top, but he only has about 8 or 9 seconds on this chase group, I'm afraid, so it hasn't quite worked out for him. Security, it's been very well marshalled, this race, actually. Super organisation, I've got to say, and there's been impeccable pictures. It's been beautifully delivered to us. So all credit to everyone involved in the Czech Tour. It's a handsome race, and we have loved being here. And of course, we've still got Pustevny tomorrow. Can't wait. Today we run into Ostrava.
These guys are racing for one prize only, and that's the most combative. The red numbers. That's the only reason they're doing this. You know, to do this now and attack each other with 25 kilometres to go, it's not helping the breakaway. I know they've only got 30 seconds, but this is not helping the breakaway. So in my mind, all 4 riders know that they're going to be caught. There's only real one prize up for grabs, and that's the red numbers.
Do you know what, Brian? If you're hungry, one sardine left on the table. It's worth going for. This is one of them, the Friedeck Castle Museum of Moravian Silesian biscuits. Really beautiful. It's stunning. Medieval castle dating to the early 14th century. It was rebuilt in the Renaissance style, as you can possibly see, housing the Museum of Bascady, the Bascady region, featuring prominent exhibitions about local history, art, nature, and yeah, guess what? A beautiful English-style castle park as well. Amazing. 34 seconds is the gap. 18 kilometres to go. This is where it gets serious. This man's giving it a serious shake of the stick, quite frankly. A guaranteed combativity award. By the way, do you know that the lead team at the moment, by a margin of 58 seconds, is Team Uijtdebroeks? I wouldn't be surprised if they even try and go for it. 16 kilometres to go. Looking at the peloton, they've got a deficit of 31 seconds to Mr. Bettendorf. He's 9 minutes and 28 up the road. Here we go. Luke Lamperti and Quickstep out to stop them. I presume Luke Lamperti's your pick for today, Brian?
Yeah, definitely. I think he's got the best lead-out team. He already knows. He's already won here. He won stage 1. He is the man to beat. But I hope he is going to be challenged, and it looks as if he is. What I was talking about before, outside the top 10, where we had a bit more of an arrowhead formation, now the teams are starting to come up. I just hope they've got the firepower, because this is the only way to do it. You have to be in a position. Thankfully, everybody stays upright just for now, but it is busy, busy stuff. We'll sweep down, and then we start to take that opportunity to get yourself into position for the big turn. And here it comes right now. It's going to be a left-hander. There's only 300 meters to go beyond this. You have to be in a good place. Oh, that's a super, super corner here by Lamperti. Everybody else manages to stay upright. They scream over the river here. He has gone for it. The green jersey's going to come home here, surely. Oh, he's going to be getting up to the line. This is absolutely fantastic. Brilliant work here by Glenn
Schwartz as he timed this absolutely perfectly. Let's have a look at the line. Oh my goodness, what a steal that turned out to be. That was absolutely brilliant. Cameron Scott was in a fabulous position for cash body wrap. Said that he and Liam Walsh would be in a place to actually make a noise, and when it came down to the tough stuff, the tough guy came forward and did a job. Liam Walsh, in fact, of the pair of them, it was always going to be one or the other. And cash body wrap, well, we said they were engaged in some shoulders out there, and they absolutely muscled their way through, and they have delivered. Wow.
Sudal Quickstep for 1-2, and you thought that this man here was in prime position, but unfortunately didn't have the legs to stay in front, and a brilliant win there for Kashi.
What an amazing finish. Great mix and match as well, and it just shows you, Brian, you have your favourites, but it's all very well having a door open for you. Credit to the Brisbane Bullet. He's hit the target again.
It was really chaotic. The Astana and Sudal were fighting for control through the corner, and I was kind of caught in between with sprinters on their own on either side, and yeah, I had to punch through a few gaps and make some space, but yeah, the corner opened up for me, and I'm really pleased that when the road straightened out on the cobbles that I had the legs to come over the top and to hold on, because it was rough and Luke was really, really quick.
Wow, what a win. Liam Walsh, Luke Lamperti, Boguslavski was in third place. Ovanitov was also up there. He's been strong all day. Konachev, Donati, Stolic, Zritsa also. And look at those who missed out today. That was a battle, a proper wrestle for that final corner. And what a finale we have had. Here is your overall classification. Junior Lecerf leads this race going into the big finale into Pustevny tomorrow by 4 seconds ahead of Fancello. And Uijtdebroeks, who will be hoping to find 9 seconds on the big climb tomorrow. He's got some strategizing to do. Lopez and Carducci leading in your top 5. Then come Hayek, Peter, Hrat, Para and Gutierrez. The Czech Tour, it's produced some fabulous, I guess, festivals really. Almost a festival of cycling here that we have in the Czech Tour. Liam Walsh delivered today. Super win for him and a great race we are having here at the Czech Tour. And so it comes down to this, the final day of the Tour of Czechia. The fourth stage, Kromeritz to Pustevny, a climb that we are well used to, and everyone is going to get a preview of today, taking the test twice, and of course drawing this day to a close. Temperature 24 Celsius, it's actually warmer than that in the valleys and cooler than that on the top of the hill. Breeze has kicked up as well, about 13 kilometres an hour, and a big party atmosphere, not only at the start today, but also on our mountaintop finish. Certainly something to celebrate. It's been a fantastic race. This is what we're dealing with on our final day to draw this great race to a close. Meandering through the foothills as we headed to the high ground and indeed the border, very close to the border with Slovakia. Sister nations, I think that they would be happy to be called. Great countries and superb climbing today. Pustevny first before we engage in a big loop to finish off the day, back up the mountain in the same direction as they take it first time of asking. It's been fantastic. It has constantly entertained this race, always provided drama. It did last year, it has this year too. And so, sunshine, not quite the punishing temperatures that some places, parts of Europe have indeed suffered. But getting ourselves ready to get off and up the roads. Martin Barter from ATT and Investments, they've been ringing the bell rather loudly themselves. They've had some very good finishes. In fact, yesterday, Boguslavski coming home in third place. Lamperti didn't get the win he was hunting for, still owns the points jersey. Uijtdebroeks in the young riders classification lead as indeed our overall leader, Junior Lecerf. Well, how will it pan out today? Lecerf should indeed stay in yellow, but by what margin at the end of today? Starts off as a favourite to hold that. Let's wait and see what happens. Anything can happen on a day like this, and as we rolled out, the jersey's on display for you. flagging the Allwyn flag to launchers, and this was to be a busy old start. Now we're kind of getting used to this. The composition of that breakaway, it took a while for indeed everyone to be absolutely happy with it, and in the end it was quite a big group that went off and up the road, including yesterday's winner, Liam Walsh. Why was he here? An intermediate sprint added to his tally of 25 points on yesterday's stage would indeed mean that he would move into the podium of the points jersey competition. Well, duly he took that intermediate sprint, and then of course we had the climb for the first time of asking, and this was indeed a bit of a wrestle. If you thought that Garibo would be gifted this, then think again. He really had to fight for it, but still came home in second place on this mountain to assure himself not to be beaten in that King of the Mountains competition. But it was a spirited drive for the line, I must tell you. It was good to see. Nice work. Stoish taking it ahead of Garibo, who was troubled, almost, I guess you might say, needled really, on the way to the line there by Sharan, who came home in third place. And the gap, which had been up around about 4 minutes, absolutely tumbled back to a peloton that itself was starting to fracture on the climb. High-paced descending. And as you can see, almost into treble figures here. This, pacey. Luke Lamperti saying, just edge out, would you? I'm coming to that side of the road. Clearly knows the roads around here as well. And this is a chance for those who've got some legs left after what's been a difficult race to indeed push on and indeed absorb what remains of the day. The peloton unconcerned. I think they made up so much ground when we got onto the climb for the first time of asking that they've decided that for the sake of calm, they would leave the breakaway to continue to have some fun. I was having great fun at the moment is Liam Walsh. He didn't look happy on the climb, which suggests he won't be happy on the climb a little bit later on. But should this breakaway, just imagine for a moment, go all the way, if he finishes 8th, he wins the points jersey. There he is, number 137, just gone off your screen right now. Yesterday's stage winner did a good one. The gap had gone up to over 2 minutes. That's going to tumble down very, very quickly with this kind of action. And a bit more cohesion for Visma Lease Bike. They've clearly listened to you here, Brian, and they're going for it.
Yeah, but the breakaway haven't listened to me at all. Yeah. You know, they're wasting a big opportunity. 2:40, I know that's to the front of the race, but even 2.5 minutes, they're wasting a huge opportunity here in my mind. I just don't understand why they're not all riding, because it's 2 riders here, and I know they're riding to bring the break back purely because of the bonuses come the end. But for the riders that are in the breakaway, there's one rider in front, Liam Walsh here, won yesterday's stage. Very difficult for him to win this stage today, of course, with the hilltop finish.
Well, we did say geography would be their friend. We're on a flattish section at the moment, and this is where you all need to work extra hard, I think. A flat section is kind of where you can ease up. You don't want to be doing that. You need to be driving into it. Even on the descent, you saw that Liam Walsh was actually pedaling. There's not much freewheeling going on. This is the Archbishop's Castle and Gardens. Absolutely brilliant. The Wellingen Open Air Museum as well is to be seen. In Roshnov, this is the Senshi Reservoir. Of course, there it is, built in between 1964 and 1969. I was getting around the edge of the man-made lake here. And the cars, not much stress for them at the moment. That will change. Meanwhile, amongst this trio who remain out front, Liam Walsh got up for the intermediate sprint today and moved into second place in the points competition, but he has run out of resources as soon as the terrain kicks up. Michael van Vliet has now struck off. He has gone off alone and now ditched Bettendorf, who had the Combativity Award yesterday, and Liam Walsh. He wants to try and make this home. It's a very tall order because 31 seconds in abeyance is the peloton. They've already reabsorbed much of the breakaway. It's now down to the run for the line.
The white jersey is just asking for a little bit more, and he's getting a little bit more, but he's just kind of priming himself up to launch an attack.
It's coming in. Here goes Uijtdebroeks over the top. And of course, Fancello goes with him. Likewise does Lecerf in the leader's jersey. And it's as you were, this trio that went up, of course, to up Stráně earlier in this race on Friday. All of a sudden, the Dlouhé boys are at it again, Brian. Quality will rise, the cream rises to the top, and that's what we're seeing. This could get cat and mousey a little bit later on, but once again, I'm afraid, Uijtdebroeks is the man that's being traced by Junior Lecerf. This is fabulous by Uijtdebroeks. That was real strength. Junior Lecerf looked equal to him. He may well work with Fancello, who's going to come back. I think they'll regroup themselves, but we're not that far from the top, you might think. There's a lot of riding still to be done here, but riding away is Uijtdebroeks. It's a whole scene of pain that we've got here, with pages being turned at every pedal stroke, it seems. And the man who's on your screen at the moment, wearing the Young Riders Classification leader's jersey, he owns that at the time being. You never know, he might turn it to gold by the time we get to the top. Let's see, and let's see what the margin is. And these guys are going to get caught, and Lecerf now has got to start surfing other wheels just to preserve second place. Fancello comes through, offers him up a little turn, but they've got company, Brian.
I tell you what, they're coming from behind, and it's going to be close, this one. He's still going to hang on for the victory, but it's going to be close.
Well, he needs a margin, don't forget, of 5 seconds as well. And this is Lecerf that's being dragged in, but the bonuses have gone away from Lecerf. This could be absolutely crucial. They're folding over in the attack here. Stüzy wants to come and join the fun. This is amazing. Here's the white jersey. Is Stüzy going to take the main bonus seconds? Oh, Lecerf gets back at this. This is what a finish we've got here. Stüzy takes it, but look at what's happening behind. Oh, my goodness. And I believe that Lecerf has just preserved his winning margin here, and Junior Lecerf crosses the line, I believe in third place, and takes the title, rips it from Uijtdebroeks, who at the very last ran out of resources. What a dramatic finish to this race. That was amazing.
It was super hard, especially the end of the climb. And yeah, it's unbelievable. It's my first pro victory forever. It's unbelievable.
What a finish, and what drama we've had here. Official results, Janice Peter takes the day. He had a decent finish at Stráně as well in 9th place, but nothing like this. That was superb. This is how the Czech Tour has finished. Junior Lecerf wins it by a 7-second margin from Uijtdebroeks. Fancello stays on the podium. Janice Peter moves to 4th place, only 26 seconds off our winner Lecerf. Umba got a top 5.
I think I showed I was quite good in this race, and now I can go with this confidence of this win to the Vuelta, my next race.
Garibo got in the break today, made absolutely sure, and it was by an enormous margin, as you can see. Twice the points of the nearest man to him, Michael Chiran. But Nicola Garibo is our King of the Mountains man. Points, making a big one. Junior Lecerf on 49, beating Luc Lamperti, his own teammate, by a margin of 4 points here. So in green, Lecerf, as well as being our overall champion, of course. Uijtdebroeks will be on the podium to pull on the white jersey, beating Alexander Hayek by a margin of 1 minute and 4, but Uijtdebroeks would have loved to have taken the title, but it crumbled through his fingers. Our top Czech rider, Thomas Pridal. A huge margin for him, 1 minute and 42 to Martin Barter, who'd done well in this competition as well. That's the red jersey for the best Czech rider. What an amazing race the Czech Tour has been. Spectacular winners at every single corner, and the title decided only in the last 50 metres. Our thanks to the organisers, it's been amazing. Our thanks to Brian Smith, and indeed our thanks to you from me, Carlton Kirby. What an amazing race. Let's do it all again next year. For now, stay safe.